Just gotta mic up real quick.
Oh.
Now, for syncing purposes, 3, 2, 1, and yo, what's going on, guys? It's Gatehi here, back from NMK Films with another video, and today we are talking about a real budget setup. But more on that later. For now, let's get into today's video. So today is gonna be a real quick video on an actual real budget setup, which is what I'm actually shooting this episode on. And we're talking about a stool and a box and another box being my support. So I'm not using a tripod. I have a tripod here, but I'm not going to use it because I'll be practical about this episode, talking about a budget setup. So I'm going to be using a budget setup. For starters, we're talking about the camera. So this camera is a Canon EOS M. It's a first mirrorless Canon camera, and you don't need to know what that means, but it's much cheaper than usual DSLRs that cost $600 and above. Next, we're going to talk about this LED light that's giving me some nice exposure. So this is a VILTROX LED light, and they're not really expensive. You can get them in town where they go for about maybe 4 or 5K plus there. So they're not really expensive, these video LED lights nowadays. You can get really cheap ones, smaller ones, some are better than others. You fix them on top of your little camera using the hot shoe mount right there. Now to move on to the support. So I'm using one box from my speakers, another box from my case, and a stool and a bed. So yeah, that's literally my support setup. It is a bit risky, and I would advise that either have someone with you, or if you can't have someone with you, just make sure you're doing it carefully. Like, it took me maybe close to 30 minutes to get this setup rolling. So make sure you do things slowly and steadily. This thing is on a bed with a soft mattress, so it's just really spongy. It's a plastic stool and 2 cardboard boxes, so things are a bit crazy. Aside from that, we're also talking about the laptop I'm going to edit this thing on. I'm not going to edit it on my Bistro machine. I'm going to edit it instead on the laptop I use for school, which has like an i3 and 4 gigs of RAM. This is a budget laptop, which I think nowadays you could probably get for 20K or less maybe. I don't know how much they cost nowadays, but I will check it up and probably post something somewhere. So I'm going to be using that. I'm going to use Premiere Pro in it. But in regards to the budget setup whole thing, there's a free software called HitFilm Express, which works the same as Premiere does, and I would use it to demonstrate as well, but I'm not comfortable with it as yet. I'm too used to using Premiere, but it can really work for you if you're willing to go look at the tutorials. They're pretty easy, and there's millions of tutorials out there because of YouTube University. I'm still going to be editing it on a budget laptop, just to show you that you don't need the most expensive gear out there. And the last thing we'll be talking about today is the camera sort of settings. I think I'll start first with the exposure. So right now I'm doing manual exposure. The lighting is pretty good, mostly because of the LED. I was going to try using natural light and be more budget-like, but it's a cloudy, sunny day, meaning the sun is going in and out of the clouds at random intervals, and I can't manage that, so it will look there. For sound, I'm running a lapel mic. You saw me putting it on in the beginning, and it's actually running into my phone. These lapel mics are not really expensive. I know probably you think, oh my god, it's a lapel mic, must have cost him an arm and a leg, but it's actually really cheap, this lapel mic. But number one problem, it doesn't work with the camera for some compatibility reasons. It's China made. It doesn't work with the camera, it works with the phone really well. You can hear the quality. It's not grade A cinema quality, but it's still better than trying to say use the onboard microphones of the camera. That works. And last but not least, the monitor, which is down here, which I would like to move, but it's not a good idea. Okay, say hey to yourselves right there. So this is an Aputure V monitor, and it is running out of battery, in case you noticed. It's using the same batteries that the LEDs use, and it's running a mini HDMI to HDMI right into the camera. Now, you don't need to have an external monitor. Nowadays the Canon cameras come with flip out monitors. Even our Lumix over there, GH4, has a flip out monitor, but I am using that because it's hella expensive. So yeah, most Canon cameras do have some kind of flip out screen to help you see yourself and expose right, and also get focus right. But and before I forget, I know I said this was the last thing, but the focus, that matters a lot. If you're doing something like this that's one man and there's no one to help you, you need good autofocus, because that matters. You don't want to be out of focus in your shots. I don't know if this video is going to be completely in focus because I'm using the autofocus on this camera, which is the lousiest autofocus Canon has ever made, but that's because it's a mirrorless camera. Nowadays, Canon cameras have this thing called dual pixel AF, and it works well in terms of autofocus because it just works. Like, that thing is accurate. Like, you tell it, focus on this, and it will focus on it forever. So I'm recording this after I ended the video, and I forgot to mention that all the B-roll that's in here is being recorded by my smartphone, Infinix Note 4. So yeah, it's a budget smartphone, but I'm going to do all of the B-roll with it so that this sticks to being a budget episode. So yeah, forgot to say that in the first recording, so I gotta say it now. So that's it for today's video. Trying to keep it short as possible nowadays. So yeah, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and comment on what you learned, and check out the description for all the links and everything that you want to find out. And without further ado, I'll see you in the next one. Good day, signing out.